Hello, thank you for watching. Welcome to the next installment of our post-secondary info series. My name is Richard Vallejo. I am your student service representative, and I am here with Kate Morin, who is a liaison officer for Western University. So if you're looking out there to apply to university and maybe Western is one of the options that you have in mind, Kate will possibly be answering your questions, and that way you can get going and be fully prepared by the time you apply. Kate, why don't you tell us a little bit about, I understand you're an alumni.
I am.
Which is great. And now you're working for them. It's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your experience at Western, why you chose Western, and then we can go and ask you some questions after that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Richard.
Sure.
So my name is Kate. I am an alumni, as Richard said. I just graduated from Western this past April in our Faculty of Social Science. Throughout my 4 years, I got involved by getting involved with our University Students' Council. I volunteered with Western International, and I actually went on an exchange to France. Part of the reason why I chose Western, it was closer to home for me, so that was a large part of it. But also, I really liked the opportunity for choice that Western did provide. So Western is a medical and doctoral university. We offer first entry undergraduate programs, second entry undergraduate programs, graduate programs, and doctoral programs. So we have a lot of different options at our campus. So I did like the ability to choose my program. We have over 400 different options for specializations, majors, and minors.
Wonderful.
So I really loved that. For those of you who don't know, Western is located in London, Ontario. So from Bayfield, it's about an hour and a half or so. And we have a population of just over 400,000 people. London is a city that is really centered around students. So 10% of London's population is actually made up of Western students. So I really liked that feeling that London provided as well.
Sure. It's a cozy university town. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you studied political science, right?
Science,
Yeah,
yes.
great. So we're going to talk a lot about the programs that you offer. In fact, why don't you tell us now what are the most popular programs that are offered there? Obviously, the medicine school, which you already touched base on.
Yeah.
That I would imagine they have a lot of applicants. So if you can tell us the most prestigious programs at Western, and then maybe talk a little bit about the admissions requirements. That's always a popular question.
Absolutely. So all of our programs at Western are prestigious. We have 11 different faculties and direct entry programs that students can apply into out of high school. So that includes arts and humanities, music, media and information studies, science, medical science, engineering, health science, nursing, kinesiology, social science, and the Dan Management and Organizational Studies program. So they're all very prestigious. We do have some enriched programs that I would say are a little bit more prestigious. So those programs include our studies for advanced studies in arts and humanities. We call it SASA. We also have our Western Integrated Science program and scholars electives. So those more enriched programs do provide students with the opportunity to get involved with undergraduate research.
Great.
Perhaps involve some sort of integrated learning, those sorts of things. And for those programs there, we do require above a 90% average coming from high school. In regards to those 11 faculties and direct entry programs that I mentioned, our averages range for each one, but it typically ranges from the low 80s to low 90s.
Wonderful. Well, and I always remind our students, and I don't know if you know, but Virtual High School does offer 24/7 unlimited tutoring.
Awesome.
So if you are taking a course with us and this is maybe something you're interested in, make sure you utilize the tutoring and they can do well, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely.
You talked about, I'm going a little bit off script here, but
Yeah.
you talked about studying abroad. You went to France.
I did.
I studied abroad in my university experience. I happen to think it's an incredible opportunity for students, and if it's possible, I think every student should do it.
really is.
So obviously, Western has a huge international student population, which maybe you can talk about a little bit there, but also encouraging students to go outbound, and they do that. So programs like studying abroad, it's easily accessible for students.
Yeah, so we have a number of different exchange programs and study abroad programs. So with exchanges, those are where you would pay tuition to Western.
Right.
With the study abroad, you would pay to that home institution in the country that you're going to. They range from 1 semester to maybe a full year, even 1 month and 2 month programs. So there's a lot of different options, a lot of different countries that students have the opportunity to go visit.
Great.
I studied in Grenoble, France. It was an old Olympic village, which was a super cool opportunity. And then after that, I really fell in love with the French language, and I sort of incorporated that into my studies as well.
Wonderful. And about incoming international students, what would you say the demographic is of Western?
Yeah, so Western is a very diverse campus. 15% of our student population is actually international students, and they come from over 117 different countries. So
Wow.
very diverse. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Now, we're growing as far as the international population of students go as well. One of the most common questions is what extra support do you have for international students?
Absolutely. So we do have our Western International department that I sort of referenced. With Western International, there are different immigration consultants on staff to sort of support international students in abiding by the rules of their stay, things like that.
Right.
There are also different counseling and extracurricular activities that international students can specifically get involved with. There are also peer supports for international students. So that's sort of what I did. Yeah, so there's peer mentors who are either Canadian citizens, permanent residents who volunteer with Western International to support their peers.
Kind of like an immediate friend, right?
You got
come
it,
in there and
yeah.
I don't have anyone, and you kind of provide that. That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And hopefully our international students that are thinking about Western can utilize those options as well.
Absolutely.
You already touched base. I usually ask this question at the end, but you talked about extracurricular activities. We'll have fun first and then talk academics later. But what kind of extracurricular activities are on your campus that students can partake in?
Yeah, so we have over 200 different clubs that students have the opportunity to get involved with if they want. They range from
You said 200?
200,
That's
yeah.
crazy, yeah.
They range from the knitting club, the guitar club, the pre-business club, a whole bunch of different options there. We also have a huge intramural sports group there. So there are a lot of I think we have over 15,000 students who are involved with that. Actually, that might have been a false number. Give me 1 second.
No worries. But 200 activities, I mean, there's plenty of stuff for students to look through and find something there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, in terms of the intramural sports, sorry, I got that right. 15,000 students get involved with that every year.
That's great.
Which is huge. There are also a lot of different student government opportunities. So for myself, I think I mentioned at the beginning, I got involved with the University Students' Council. There are also opportunities for students to get involved with their Faculty Students' Council. Lots of different options there.
Great, wonderful. Now, a question that I think everyone that's ever attended a university or thinking about attending university is asked is financial aid. I know it's a big burden sometimes to fund your post-secondary education. So what do you guys have as far as financial aid?
Yeah, so students from Ontario or Canada, there are government assistance opportunities there, so things like OSAP. In terms of admission scholarships, we do have automatic admission scholarships that are based on students' final grade 12 average, and those go for their domestic students, permanent residents, and international students qualify for those automatic scholarships. So that's awesome. There are also other scholarships that students can apply to. Those do have some other restrictions on being a permanent resident and things like that. Those two big ones include the National Scholarship Program and the Schulich Leaders Scholarship. With those, they also do require a supplemental application as well as a nomination from your school, from the student's school. So they would have to contact you and sort of get that nomination
Sure
set in
thing.
place.
But that's, again, another incentive to perform well in high school. It's
Absolutely.
important for sure. Now, I like the way you answered this. I don't think any other university has answered it. When I ask what your most prestigious programs were, like you just right off the bat said they're all pretty prestigious. That's great. But as far as the more competitive programs, maybe the ones that you have the most applicants to, that you have to be a bit more precise in the application process. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so our medical sciences program, I would say that would probably be our most competitive program. For that, students, we do require an average of the low to mid 90s. So it is quite competitive there. And yeah, I would say that is our
the medical
most
school
competitive.
one. Yeah, no.
So our medical school starts after a 4-year degree at Western. We also have a medical sciences undergraduate program. So with that one, that would be our most competitive.
That makes sense. No, perfect. It's kind of competitive all over the country, really.
Yeah.
It's just there. But another question that I had, virtual high school students are obviously used to doing distance learning. You're talking about the campus, and I mean, even looking at your backdrop, it's a beautiful campus.
It is.
London is known as the forest city. I mean, you got lots
We
of
are.
trees around, so it's good to be immersed and be part of there. But as far as maybe flexibility offered to students to do distant education or online courses, does Western have stuff like that?
Yeah, so we offer over 2,000 different courses through various mediums. Distance studies is one of those options. In terms of different majors and minors that can be pursued specifically through distance studies, we offer a major in psychology, as well as minors in psychology, English for teachers, and I believe anthropology. So,
Cool.
but in terms of courses, there are lots of different options. We do not look at distance studies courses coming from high school any differently as well. I know that's not what you asked, but
That's
also
good to know,
important
though,
to
for
know.
sure.
So if students take distance studies courses in high school, maybe night school, summer school, we look at them all the same. If they are taken outside of the typical daytime hours, students do have to inform us of that, just to make sure that we are aware that they are enrolled in all of those courses
sure.
when we are reviewing their application.
For sure. And if you're a student out there and you are applying to Western, like Kate just said, they'll accept the credit. Just let us know so we can send the information to them. That way they're aware of that as well. So we can send a letter of registration. We'll send the midterm report and the final report. That way you and I can stay close communicated there for the students.
For sure.
Now, as far as the full on-campus experience, what do you have as far as residence? And do you maybe guarantee residence for first-year students?
We do. So residence is guaranteed for all first-year students coming right from high school who are single. There are also 3 other parts to that guarantee. So if students have above a 95 mid-year average, students are guaranteed one of their top 3 building choices. If students have above a 90 final grade 12 average, they are guaranteed a spot in residence for their second year, if that's something that they choose to do. Some students really like that convenience of being close to campus, so that's something to consider. We also guarantee if you do have a friend or someone you know that is going to Western that you would like to live with, we guarantee that you will live together as long as you both meet your conditions on your acceptance letter, as well as you both request each other as your preferred roommate, and you complete the residence lifestyle questionnaire identically.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Make sure you get together with that person.
Yeah. I should have also noted, about residence. There are 7 different buildings for students to live in your first year. And when you do that application, you'll rank all 7 buildings in your preferred order based on what style you prefer. So we do have 3 different residence styles. We have our suite style, hybrid, and traditional.
Wonderful. Yeah, great. Just, again, off script, did you live on campus?
I did, yeah. So I lived in a hybrid style residence called Perth Hall.
Okay.
So with that style of residence, I shared a room with one other person. Right next door, there were 2 other people, and then the 4 of us shared a washroom.
Kind of like a suite, I
You got
suppose.
it, yeah. Yeah,
that's
it was
pretty
awesome.
neat. As far as co-op options, you were already talking about very practical learning and doing research even in your undergraduate. Another aspect of practical learning would be co-ops. Do you guys offer stuff like that?
Yeah, so all of our faculties do provide students with the opportunity to get involved with either co-op or internships. We do have really great career support. So if that's something that you want to get involved in, that's something that you would look into once you're a student.
For sure. And any questions you might have, you can ask us as well. We can make sure that they're directed to the right place. But it's available on the website as well. And talking to the admissions team, and they can answer those questions for sure. Yeah. Maybe there's a lot of local students or students fairly local that maybe want to come by and look at your campus. And it is beautiful. I mean, we've all seen it many times. Do you guys have an open house coming up or any opportunity to just kind of drop in if they're in town?
Yeah. So we have our fall preview day coming up on Sunday, November 17th.
Okay.
On that day, students would have the opportunity to explore campus, of course, maybe sit in on a lecture, try the foods in residence, which is super cool. We also have campus tours that run year-round. So if that date doesn't work for students, they're more than welcome to book a tour with us. I always tell students, Western is awesome. It's great to look at the pictures online and in our view book, but it's another experience to actually come to our campus. Our community, we have everything you need right in the core of its campus. So we have restaurants, cafes, a hospital, health services, movie theater, grocery store, basically everything that a small city would have, Western has right on our campus.
And if you want to go off campus, you're really not that far from the amenities of London either.
You got it, yeah.
Right.
And London is a gorgeous city as well. So I encourage students to explore London.
Perfect. Listen, we've covered, I think, the academic aspect of Western and residence and then extracurricular. Before we sign off, do you have like the last thing you want to say about Western? It's an old university. It's probably one of the biggest in Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
What would you say for the student that just kind of needs that extra push? How would you summarize Western?
Yeah, I would say every Western student has a very different experience. There are some things that we do know all of our students will experience. You'll learn from incredible professors. So professors who are teaching their life's work, they're doing research outside of the classroom and applying that knowledge into the lectures. Like I said, with our experiential learning opportunities, so co-op, internship, study abroad and exchange programs, there's really something for everyone. So yeah, I can't speak highly, or I can't say enough great things about Western. I loved my experience, and that Mustang spirit really does stay with you wherever you go.
That's good to know. Wonderful. So you can go out and find your own Western experience. It's unique to you and unique to anyone else that I've talked to that's attended Western. Thank you, Kate, for telling us a bit about that more. If you have any more questions, like I said, just message us. We'll get you in touch with the right person. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. If you know anyone that's maybe interested in Western, when you see this video, make sure you share it with them. And stay tuned for the next time we meet for the next in post-secondary info series. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks again, Kate.
Thanks for having me.